Hello, Bengal fans. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of Bengals in Paradise. I am your host, Chasten Scott, and in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about Jamar Chase and T. Higgins finally getting the bag. And I'll also be discussing the external moves that the Bengals have made so far and what could possibly be on the horizon in the upcoming days. But before I get more into today's episode, if you guys like my content, can you guys please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you to each and every one of you. Now, let's get into today's episode. So, when I first heard the news, Friday, Saturday, that it's basically a done deal, I was just over the top ecstatic, to finally hear that it was coming to a conclusion, like the ending for Jamar Chase and T. Higgins contract situations, and it was just like a sigh of relief, so to say. It was just, it felt like forever that this was going on, and it's just a lot of weight off everyone's shoulders that this finally came to a close and finally ended. And it's official, finally, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins finally got paid. Jamar Chase got a 4-year extension for $161 million, and T. Higgins got paid 4 years for $115 million. And, it didn't hit me until, I would like to probably say Sunday, when I seen that alert from Jordan Schultz, who I believe was one of the first people to report it, that both Jamar and T agreed to their contracts. And I was just sitting down on my couch watching a movie with my family, and I get the alert, and I was just jumping for joy. I was so excited, and right there I started celebrating, drinking beer, smoking my cigar. It was a good Sunday night, to tell you that. And so to finally see it happening, it's like I said, it's good time. It's a great time to be a Bengals fan, and I can't say enough about it. I felt like it was a long process, and I felt like every day it was just dragging. When is it gonna get done? All Bengal fans wanted to know, when is it gonna get done? And when the news hit, it just, like I said, I just finally got, I'm just so happy it finally got over the hump, and they're both paid, and now we can move along, no drama, no distractions moving forward. It's just everything set in place, and Joe Burrow, got his wish, so I'm just happy for, all parties, Joe, Jamar, T, the Bengals, Bengal fans. It's an exciting time, to say the least. And, seeing a lot of people's reactions, especially on social media, you can't help but laugh, because there's so many haters out there that will be moving the goalposts. They're gonna say, oh, Bengals are cheap, they're not gonna afford their star receivers, they're not gonna pay them, they're just gonna let them walk, and they're not gonna extend them. And then here we are today. What do we know? Bengals paid Jamar, they paid T. Now what do the haters say? Oh, they paid T too much money. They shouldn't have given that money. You should have let him walk. You don't pay a number 2 receiver. It's just yada 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 yada. And it was just so funny seeing it on my social media. Just so much people just hating, and to tell you the truth, they're hating because they fear of what is to come, and that's Joe, Jamar, and T. Just a triple threat. And I'm not gonna lie, I would be scared too. No way to sugarcoat it. That's just the way it is. So I know why the ops are talking smack, or they're not they're not celebrating, or they're not congratulating the fan base for the Bengals, and that's because they fear Burrow, Chase, and Higgins. And like I said, if I was a fan for another team that would be talking smack, that's because I'll fear if our defense had to cover the team. So I get it, but it was just at the same time, it's just hysterical seeing all the haters just talk and backpedaling. It was hilarious. So I had fun engagement, to say the least, with the haters out there on social media. And now with this finally coming to a close, hopefully we can get an extension going now with Trey Hendrickson. I hope that's the case. And how awesome would that be, Bengal fans, if the team can hit this on the head and take care of their stars. Joe's taking care of, Jamar is taking care of, T's taking care of. Now let's say if they get to a deal with Trey, they finally paid all of their superstars, and believe me, the haters are gonna hate. They're gonna be like not expecting it, because this is not what typical Bengals do. But ever since Joe Burrow got drafted, he just changed the entire perspective on the Bengals. It's a new era, and it's just so awesome to be a Bengals fan right now, seeing all these changes happening in front of our very own eyes, something that we would never think that Bengals could do. But here we are. They paid both of their superstar receivers, and even though all Bengal fans knew that was happening, to see it like official, like see it with your own eyes that it is happening, that's what's so exciting as a fan, to see it finally get done, to see that the Bengals are finally changing their stripes, changing their philosophy on how to structure contracts and guaranteeing money past their first year. So it's just all these kind of changes that you see the Bengals are doing is just a breath of fresh air for Bengal fans, and it's a crazy time. It really is. And I'm just, like I said, I'm like over the top right now. I've been so happy over these past couple of days that these finally got done. And like I said, hopefully we can take care of Trey now and try to work with him, because God forbid Trey leaves. I don't know what this defense is going to look like. Trey is our defense as of right now. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Trey is the defense. So we need Trey for the long term, because we're in the Super Bowl window now. We're trying to win championships at this very moment, and the best possible way to achieve that is to have Trey on the defense. So I just hope they can come to some sort of agreement in the near future. Time will tell on that, but I feel optimistic that things are gonna get handled the right way, like how they handled Jamar and T's contract situations. I'm optimistic that Bengals can get something done with Trey Hendrickson, but like I said, time will tell. And moving forward, I kind of didn't do an episode for a long time, because I was just kind of like a waiting game. I wanted to see what else moves Bengals were gonna do, but I had to make an episode for Jamar T's official signing. So far, since free agency started last week Monday, Bengals have made 3 external moves, bringing back Samaje Perine, signing defensive tackle TJ Slaton from the Packers, and signing linebacker Oren Brooks from the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I love every single one of their moves. It was all solid signings, and I feel like they can contribute and start right away and just make immediate impacts for this team for this upcoming season. But I think Bengal fans, we can all feel that that's honestly just not enough, and I feel like there's more moves to be made in the near future, and I even hope so that even today they could be making a move. I don't know, but we all know what the elephant in the room is, and that's Bengals signing a guard. We've been all waiting for them to make a move to sign one, and Bengals stress about protecting Joe and stuff, but seeing is believing. We need to see a move, and Bengals still haven't. Now, were they waiting because of Jamar T's contract situation, and they trying to nip that in the bud, and then focus on other things? Time will tell. I would like to think that's the case, but we'll see, because the guard market is getting really thin, and tell you the truth, there's not many options left available. Now, when I made my post on Twitter, the only options available realistically for like left guard, say for example, is Dalton Risner from the Vikings, maybe Jedrick Wills from the Browns. He has connections with the offensive line coach Scott Peters. Now, will Scott, try to recruit him, to come along to join the Bengals and maybe make a switch from tackle to guard? That could be like a Mekhi Becton kind of project move. I don't even know if Jedrick would be interested in switching positions. We'll see. But he's someone that's in my mind that I'm thinking that Bengals could realistically sign. And the big fish out there is Tevin Jenkins. Now he just completed his visit with the Seahawks, and he left without a deal. So I don't know what the heck is going on with that whole Tevin Jenkins situation. Is it medical? Is it just he has other opportunities he wants to pursue? It was the contract, not up to his standards. I don't know what's happening with Tevin Jenkins, but all I know is he's still in the market, and I would love for Bengals to be interested again in trying to do something for Tevin Jenkins. Now, it was reported last week that Bengals were interested in him, and they made him an offer, but he declined it, if I'm not mistaken. But the longer you wait and you're unsigned, I feel the less of your value you get out there in the open market. And maybe Bengals can come back to the table with Tevin Jenkins again, because like I said, Tevin is the best available option out there when it comes to the guards, and he would be a big splash for this Bengals team, and who's in desperate need of guard play. And Tevin Jenkins is the perfect fit for the Bengals, and I would love to see that happen. But I don't know, like I said, I don't know what's going on with him. If teams are shying away from him due to his back injuries, I have no idea. Like I said, time will tell on that. But for me, if there's some way possible for Bengals to negotiate something with him and try to come to an agreement, I would love Tevin Jenkins. He's my first pick when it comes to the guard guard spot for free agency. I want Tevin Jenkins, and I just hope like I said, Bengals can find some sort of way to come to an agreement with him. Now, moving along to the right guard spot, there's not really many options out there either. It's Will Hernandez from the Cardinals, and it's Brandon Scherff from Jaguars. Now, when it comes to the right guard spot, Brandon Scherff makes the most sense, and he's still awesome at what he does despite his age being 33 years old. He is a dog, and I would love Brandon Scherff. He's my first pick when it comes to the right guard spot, and to me, he feels like the most logical answer when it comes to the guard answer, and I feel like Brandon Scherff would be an also perfect fit for that spot. So I don't know what the waiting game is. So far we haven't seen any reported interest for Brandon Scherff, and even from the other 31 teams, we don't know what's going on with Scherff's market. But in my eyes, Brandon Scherff will make the most sense when it comes to right guard play. And the dream scenario for me is, and not just for me, there's a lot of Bengal fans out there who completely agree with what I'm saying, is that Bengals should sign 2 guards, and you're not gonna be spending the bank on getting 2 guards. It's realistic. It's possible to pay 2 guards because you're not paying them a top dollar. You'd be paying mid-tier free agents. So you get, Brandon Scherf maybe to like $7 to $9 million annually, and you maybe could get a Tevin Jenkins for like $10 to $11 million annually. So that's like what, $18 to $20 million annually for both guards who are playing at a really high level. I mean, that's a steal. So in my eyes, signing 2 guards would make the most sense. I mean, can you imagine a lineup for Joe that consists of Orlando Brown, Tevin Jenkins, Ted Karras, Brandon Scherf, and Amarius Mims? I mean, good God, man, that's just deadly, and they'll be by far the best offensive line that Joe has ever had in his career. So why not, create that? Why don't just go all the way in what's most important, and that's protecting your franchise. I don't want them to just be I don't want them to just settle on, we think Cody is a capable starter, he can play. Maybe we can, bring out the best in Cordavosin now that we have Scott Peters, or we're gonna draft a rookie so we can have a 3-man race to win the starting left guard spot. No, I don't want that. That's taking a risk. I want them to find a solution, a stability player for that left guard spot, so that way we don't have to worry anymore. No question marks moving into this season. I just hope that Bengals see that. I don't know if they see it like that. To be honest, I just wouldn't be surprised if Bengals only sign 1 guard. But which would make the most sense is if Bengals sign 2 guards. That would be a dream come true, and I'll be ecstatic if they were to do that. But I just think that Bengals are probably just gonna sign 1 guard, which is sad. But I also think it's a reality, and that's just something that Bengal fans just have to expect. I honestly see them just signing 1 guard, and they're probably going to go with drafting a rookie and then just having Vosen, Ford, and a rookie compete at the left guard spot, which is not the best idea, but what can we do? So that's basically all the options that I said that would fit the mold for Bengals guards, and realistic is Will Hernandez, Brandon Scherf for right guard, and for the left guard you got Tevin Jenkins, Dalton Risner, and Jedrick Wills. Those are basically all the options you got left, Bengals. So we got it. It's about time we start making a move, because you could blink your eyes and 2 could be signed already, and then you're just left with like 2 or 3 options. I just hope they can make a quick move and get on it and sign a guard. Now there's been reports out there that in the next coming of days that Bengals are probably gonna sign Brandon Scherf for Tevin Jenkins, but time will tell on that. We'll see what happens, but I would like to see Bengals make a move on the guard market, because it's been a long time. Like, I've been waiting every day, hopefully to see like an alert notification, so to speak, that Bengals sign a guard, or a guard is visiting the Bengals, but it's nada. So we'll see on that. But to me, that's not my first priority, is extending Trey Hendrickson, and then also signing a guard. And I don't know what they're gonna do with pass rush. That's something too that I feel like Bengals are settling on. Great, they signed Cam Sample, they re-signed Joseph Osai, but that's not enough. You don't want to go into the draft with question marks. You want to try and nip that thing in the bud, so that way you can draft best player available. So like I said, there's a couple of options out there too. When it comes to the edge rushing market, it's kind of dried out. Azeez Ojulari, who's one of my predictions that Bengals were to sign, he just signed a 1-year $4 million deal. Like, come on, Bengals, we couldn't have done that. That's ridiculous. Super cheap, and he's 24 years old. You're banking on potential. Why not? But he signed with the Eagles, and the rest of the options that are out there is you're kind of looking at like people that are past 30s, like Zadarius Smith, Von Miller, excuse me, and you also got Charles Omenihu. He's an intriguing one because he's only 27, and he's also really good friends with Jamar Chase, and he plays really well, and he's from the Chiefs, so we'll see. Time will tell what they do when it comes to the pass rush, if they feel like they need to add more, because I totally feel that they should. So hopefully in free agency they're not done, and they be making more moves when it comes to the trenches, offensive line and defensive line. We'll see with that. And with the interior, it's completely just dried up. Everybody's signed at this point. Like, the only guy that would, I feel, make impactful plays for this season is Calais Campbell, but I feel like Bengals are not in on him due to his age, and how many times has he been available throughout the years, and Bengals just have not been interested. They didn't even bring him in for like visits. So I just feel like Calais Campbell would make a lot of sense for this defense, but I just don't see it happening because Bengals don't seem interested for whatever reason when it comes to Campbell. So the defensive tackle spot, I just see them drafting one. That's because, like I said, the market for defensive tackles is it's washed. There's like nothing out there besides Campbell. So if it was to come to more signings for the Bengals, I just feel like it'll be guard and maybe a defensive end, and then just go into the draft, drafting a interior pass rusher, maybe a safety. I know that Nick from South Carolina is having a meeting with the Bengals. To me, that would be a dark horse pick. I wouldn't be surprised if Bengals drafted a safety in the first round, but I can talk about that another day. Today's episode was just strictly on just celebrating Jamar and T's contract and just breaking down our free agents that we signed and what could possibly be coming up ahead. But I would love to see Trey Hendrickson getting a new contract. I'd love to see Bengals attacking the guard spot, signing a guard, maybe even two, and maybe looking at a pass rusher. And then I'll be extremely happy when it comes to free agency. I'll grade it an A if they do that route. But like I said, time will tell on that. So Bengal fans, just try to drop a comment and just tell me what external free agent is your favorite signing so far, and what do you want to see the Bengals do in the near future. So if you could please drop a comment for me, it'd be greatly appreciated, Bengal fans. But until then, I hope you guys enjoy this episode, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Hoo day, Bengal fans.